Good morning, Magic players. Welcome to the morning show, where we look at Modern Horizons spoilers as they keep flooding out. We got stuff to look at from yesterday, and I'm sure there's going to be stuff coming out today. We also do Decklist reviews, so if you got a 75 you'd like some feedback on, submit it to this channel, and both myself and the community would love to give you that feedback. Welcome, or brew up your cups of coffee. Let's brew up some magic. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for May. Now is it the 26th? No, it's the 25th. It's May 25th, 2021. Truth be told, I really don't care what day it is. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. Let's have some fun this morning. Good morning, Leontez, Rogue, Mikey J, Chemical, The Number, James, Cole, Squid Guy, Rogue. How good is Sudden Breakthrough? Not good at all. 2 mana. Target creature gets +2/+0. This is very useless. Almost no deck can utilize this. Too clunky. I mean, at the cheat. You want to talk about I don't know what format you're talking about, but if we're talking about modern, generally speaking, we're a modern channel. 2 mana for a pump spell, just not going to do it. It's got to do something amazing or have a very important utility to the deck strategy. Good morning, Cody, John, Thomas, Antonio, Stefan, Ethan, Andreas, Lirock, Cheesy Torso, Benjamin, Fraser, Spencer. Good morning, Lord Magicus, Alvin, D-Ty Gaming, MTG Ectoplasm, Grim, Massimo, Jamie, Ethan. Have you guys seen any new spoilers for today? I don't know if anything new has come out. All right, well, let's get into this morning. Oh, we got James with a question. Gavin, whoever, said that Modern Horizons 2 will have a bunch of merfolk, then shouted out that Professor guy as a merfolk player. I said Nikachu is the merfolk master. Where's his merfolk shout out? Well, I mean, Wizards of the Coast, they're going to promote the Professor. He's the most famous merfolk player. I might be the most accomplished merfolk player, but that's about it. I think Gavin is closer friends to the Professor than he is to me. Well, I mean, we're competing morning show people. Maybe he doesn't want to throw any. See, like this is the competing morning show that we have to deal with. We got a few more subscribers. Nothing like some healthy competition here. The only difference is this is an organic Good Morning Magic show, or this is Coffee and MTG. He's got inside information. He works for R&D. How do we compete with that? We're gonna compete with that with this morning show. But all the best to Gavin. Oh man, can I set this up really quickly? I like the there's like a way to compare YouTube channels. And it wasn't done on purpose, but it looks like our channels are at war almost. Hold on. Compare YouTube channels. Let's quickly get Good morning Magic. Look at this thing. So this is just based on subscribers. I'm the red line. He's the blue line. Came out hot. It came out really fast and furious. And, I've been dragging ass for years. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the slack. And so this is where we are right now. This is where we are for morning magic shows. All right, let's look at some of the spoilers. Let's start with, Fractured Sanity. Triple blue. Not hard for them, to be honest. Each opponent mills 14 cards. But here's the deal. When you cycle Fractured Sanity, each opponent mills 4 cards. So this is a way of, drawing into more resources while still, milling cards at the same time. I think this is a very strong card. Probably will slot into their deck easily. I think, 14, that's a lot of cards. I think... Well, I don't know what their take is, but I think they want to have as many cards milled per card as possible. I know you can like dump 8 to 10 cards with 2 mana. This is just like 4 more cards, but I think they're a partial control deck while partially being a mill deck. So the deal is, I think this card can definitely see play in their mill archetype. What's funny is like I got the vibe on Twitter that they didn't want to see this card. Like, why are they giving mill tools? Like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, mill hasn't been a strategy basically for forever. All of a sudden, it's sort of on its feet, and you want to kick it down immediately? Like, so what if mill was tier 1? It's like so easy to interact with. There are so many, like, you just put an Emrakul in your sideboard, and yeah, they could like deal with it with like surgical extraction, but like the point is, you can randomly blow them out. I mean, they play 3 mills cards, hit the Emrakul, and they don't have surgical. They're screwed. They're back to square one. So anyway, I think it's good that Mill's got some playability right now in Modern. Solid tier 2 deck. Solid, getting results. And maybe it helps because there's a lot of combo decks in the format. Those big mana decks that they can prey on. Jose asks, Nikachu, do you think Patriarch's bidding in Modern Horizons 2 will allow Black-Green Elves to be competitive again? I don't know what Patriarch... I'm guessing this is the new one. We'll get to it. Okay, well, I guess we might as well get to it now. Patriarch's bidding. Sorcery. Each player chooses a creature type. Each player returns all creature cards of a type chosen this way from their graveyard to the battlefield. This looks unplayable in Elves. Elves, okay, let's say all your creatures are dead. That means you have no mana producers. You don't have mana producers, you don't have 5 mana to cast this card. That's the way I look at this. I think Elves needs to put themselves in a situation where if things are dying, they're getting triggers, they're getting value, or they just don't care about their stuff dying. I don't really believe in this whole... Like, there's already so many cards that can resurrect all the creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield. You could splash white for that. I don't think this changes anything. And for the most part, this looks like a commander card. This is not a modern card. Oh, thoughts on Void Mirror? Oh, we're getting into the heavy ones, huh? It's going to be a sideboard card. This is going to be a staple sideboard card for sure. You might not always see it in the sideboard, and it doesn't do everything that you want it to do. Like, it probably is going to put a hurt on Tron if you can get it out early enough. Because, okay, so here's the thing about Tron. They got the forests. They got Expedition Map to find forest. They've got Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star. They can crack it for colored mana. By the way, Void Mirror is 2 mana artifact. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. But here's the problem. Yellow Chair is like, F E-Tron. But here's the problem. A lot of the decks can use colored mana. So if you look at Tron, they've got Forest. If they play Expedition Map on turn 1, they see you played Void Mirror. They just snap, get the Forest. They can play Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star, and then wait to crack it to add color mana. They can still play Thrag Tusk. They could play... Well, no, they can't play... Well, I was thinking they can play Veil of Summer before they... Oh, no, Veil of Summer wouldn't work here at all. But the point is, if you have green mana for Veil of Summer, then who cares? But it's still gonna work. Like, it's still gonna work. Like, if you play this on turn 2 against Eldrazi Tron Tron, and they don't have the forest, they don't have anything, then it's gonna suck. But it gets undermined very easily by a single forest. It gets undermined by a single forest. They get their single forest, that's it. They get to play spells every turn. But if you can get this in play before they get, like, even a... I don't know what they can play on turn... I guess they could play Ancient Stirrings on turn 1. No, they can't. I'm trying to see how I can get Void Mirror underneath any colored mana without them having... Like, because if they play Expedition Map turn 1, you play Void Mirror, then they obviously have... they're going to have green mana. And then against Eldrazi Tron, maybe it's more effective against Eldrazi Tron because they literally don't have colored mana except for their Cavern of Souls. So Cavern of Souls is going to help cast the Eldrazi, but it cannot help cast Karn or Walking Ballista unless they reset or reset the Cavern of Souls. Counters All Is Dust. Counters Spatial Contortion. So anyway, of course, it counters free stuff. So it's going to counter the Cascade spells. It's going to counter Force Negation. It's going to counter that stuff. Rishadan Dockhand, tap their forest. Void Mirror, that's right. So this is maybe wait until map resolves and search for the Tron land, then you put it. Yeah, but like they'll play a second land pass. Then they're going to wait for your Void Mirror. You don't play Void Mirror. Okay, they get the third Tron land, then they'll play Karn. And then it's too late. I don't think it counters Grief's Evoke. Because Evoke is a... Oh, no, hold on. No, it says cast. I think it says cast for... Yeah, I do know it will counter it. Because Evoke says cast for its Evoke cost. But when it enters the battlefield, it has to die. So, can you still use colored mana to cast it? Yeah. So you can cast Karn off of a single forest. You can still cast your Ugin. So that's the problem. It's going to be a card. This is totally going to be a card. But it's not nearly as strong as they think it is. I think it's going to have even better application against... Wait, like I would side it in versus Amulet Titan, for example. Hits the Amulet, hits Engineer... Well, it won't hit Engineered Explosive. Oh, no, it won't hit... Sorry. It doesn't hit any... Sorry, it hits Summoner's Pact. That's what I want to say. It hits Summoner's Pact. I remember it interacts with Amulet Titan, but I'm naming all the wrong cards because they have tons of colored mana. They have mana up their ass. They have mana all over the place. So anyway, Void Mirror, it's gonna see play, but it's a lot easier to play around than people think. Not to mention, like, Eldrazi Tron has Blast Zone that they could use to blow this thing up. Unban KCI now. Yeah, but they'll use colored mana to cast everything. Yeah, it doesn't counter copies. Because copies aren't cast. They are put directly on the stack. Whenever you copy a spell, it just shows up. Just shows up there. Here's Prowess? No, it does nothing to Prowess. Except it counters Lava Dart. And maybe Gut Shot. And Mutagenic Growth. So it can, like, I guess it interacts with them a little bit. Okay, let's go back to the spoilers. What the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. We've got Sarah's Emissary flying. As it enters the battlefield, choose a card type. You and creatures you control have protection from the chosen card type. So it's like Iona, but for creatures. Sorry, it's Iona, but for card types. You and creatures you control have protection, so you can choose instant or planeswalker or something less oppressive. Doesn't Void Mirror also counter cards that you cast with Bring to Light? Yes, that is correct. So it'll interact with Bring to Light. Anything that you would tutor directly into play. Void Mirror Nombos with pitched Force Negation. That is correct. It'll counter your Force Negations as well. Ammon says, it's a shitty Iona. Well, I mean, Iona's banned in Commander. Again, this is a Commander card, people. We knew this. Okay, this card might see some play. Ingenious Infiltrator. Look at the ads on this side. This is just ad central. It's a 2/3 creature, which is not too bad for 4 mana, but it's got ninjutsu. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I think that's fantastic. And if you have like a bunch of ninjas in your deck, is this a new card, by the way? Ingenious Infiltrator. Or is this like a reprint? Oh, this is dumb. This was from the original Modern Horizons. Well, forget it. Everything I just said, it's been in the format for forever. No home, I guess. No home. We got Wonder. This is an old card. Flying, as long as Wonder is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. It will be unplayable, in my opinion. Break Ties. I think this is a limited card. Like, it's got a lot of modes on it, but, like... Because you can only choose one. Just exile... Why do you really want to play a disenchant that can pump up your creature and potentially exile one card from your graveyard? I don't know if that's worth it. Because it's 3 mana for choose one. Destroy an artifact, enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard. Or you can reinforce for a single white. Discard this card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You know what? The last one was blurry. I couldn't see it. Isn't Sarah's Emissary better because you can use it with Unmarked Grave or in Reanimator? Sarah's Emissary is better because it's not banned in Commander. That's the way I look at it. Wonder. Oh, that's it. You know what? This is a great Wonder in Dredge. You wonder. But you need to control an island. I know Dredge doesn't like to control islands, but you know what? You make a damn good point. Maybe this could be a sideboard card. That's very interesting. I'm sure Sodek will playtest this. Look at that. Wonder might have a deck to go into. And, like, you know, who cares if it's in your opening hand? You can discard it with Cathartic Reunion. Okay, we got Late to Dinner. You know what? I'm tired of all these ads. There's a lot of ads on... there's a disgusting amount of ads on Magic Spoiler. They get things fast, but holy crap, too many ads. So we talk about Fractured Sanity. Talked about all this. Sword of Truth. And Justice. It's a reprint. Okay, Late to Dinner. And by the way, I think this is cool. I think these alternate art, like, what is this? Like, artist sketch cards? I think they're really cool. And this is really unique. Anyway, white 3, sorcery, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, create a food token. It's an artifact. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, just more of a limited card than anything else. Spreading Insurrection, I think also a limited card. Gain control of target creature you don't control until end of turn. Untap that creature, gains haste until end of turn. And it has Storm! So you can grab tons of stuff. Oops, let's get rid of this. Wonder and Dredge. Spoilers coming. Well, we're just looking at all the stuff that came yesterday. Lucid Dreams, unplayable commander card. Actually, no, this probably wasn't a limited card. It was probably a commander card. You, like, I don't know, play a bunch of spells, then you gain control of everyone's stuff, and then you try to kill them with it. But if I were playing commander, I would just concede so they can't use my creatures to kill somebody else. And I hope it screws them over. Lucid Dreams. Maybe I can zoom in closer. Draw X cards, where X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. Again, a commander card. Okay, this is actually an important card. Tarash's Canticle? I don't know what this word is. A black and 3 generic, a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a card from it. That player discards that card, then discards a card at random. I'll tell you why this is important. This pretty much means Hymn to Turok is not getting printed in Modern Horizons 2. Because I don't see a world where they would print Hymn to Turok and this card at the same time. There's, like, no point. It's like when we all knew that Counterspell was not coming to Modern Horizons 1 when we saw Prohibit. Like, why would they have both? Because once they revealed Prohibit, it's like, oh my god. Like, once Prohibit got spoiled, it was like, okay, I guess we're not getting Counterspell, because why would they have both of these in, like, a 2-mana slot, you know? So I think, what is it? People are saying it's Turash. Turash's Canticle. This pretty much means that we're not going to see him. Him's not coming to Modern. So that probably the the leaking video that I had, the really fantasy list of cards are probably all BS. Yay, him to Tarash in Modern. We're saved. I guess this means him to Tarash. Maybe. Maybe it's possible. As time goes on, well, anyway, so far all the cards spoiled, like Grief, for example, just sort of insinuates that maybe we're not going to play non-reserve list Legacy yet. They're just going to make adaptations to cards that are in Legacy. Okay, Rise and Shine. Target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on each artifact that became a creature this way and has Overload. There's a non-zero chance that this is a modern playable card. Where, like, I can see an artifact deck with a bunch of artifacts. They overload this, and they create an army, and they go and kill you. I think this card would be even more interesting if it was just if it affected all artifacts. So you could, like, target your opponent's Ether Vial or something. You give them a 4/4 creature, but still. But I'm not confident that this will see play, but there's like a non-zero chance that some, I don't know, an Urza deck will find a way to make use of this. It's a worse Scissors? No, it's a better Scissors because you can overload it. That's the point. So you can turn all your artifacts into 4/4s and you just go boom. Just go boom. So anyway, that's the point. We have a new sword. Sword of Home and Hearth. 3 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from green and white. Equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. Exile up to 1 target creature you own. Then search your library for a basic land card. Put both cards on the battlefield under your control and shuffle. This card's unplayable. That is a very bad equipment. That's terrible. Okay, so we got Bottled Gnomes. I mean, this is just a limited card as far as I'm concerned. 4 mana, trample. It dies, you gain life equal to its power. And we went over Void Mirror already. It's gonna be a sideboard card. It's just not gonna completely wipe out the decks that you want to wipe out with. All right, so now we get into, I think, some newer territory. We'll refresh the page just in case they added anything. They did not. So what do we got here? Young Necromancer. A black for generic human warlock. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Seems underwhelming, but if you can get past the casting cost, the card is strong. But that's the downside, is the casting cost. Ability is strong, though. And then we saw this one. This Patriarch's Bidding is, as far as I'm concerned, unplayable. Maybe unplayable is a strong word, but you need a lot of mana in play. And you need to be a tribal deck. Steel Camel, 3 mana. ETB. Steel Camel enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Well, that's good. 3 mana for a 4/4 creature? Alright. Steel Camel doesn't untap during your untap step as long as it has a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. Well, you just deflated my sails immediately. Just immediately. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may move a +1/+1 counter from Steel Camel to target creature. I don't know about this card anymore. Seems clunky for hardened scales too. Yeah, pretty sure it was Liliana in the art. Extruder, 4 mana. Oh, Echo is coming back. Sacrifice an artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Interesting. And I bet this is like a card that you just go off on the turn that you want to go off, and then that's that. I think this card has some potential. I don't know how you use it. Like the sacrifice, because the thing is, like, let's say this is for hardened scales. And oh, you can't use the ability at the same time with Arcbound Ravager. It wouldn't work. I'm like, I want to it's not whenever something gets sacrificed is you have to use its ability to sacrifice an artifact. All right, it's less interesting. Yeah, it's like a fixed Ravager that predates Ravager. Extruder is a reprint. Anyway, it's not that great. I was looking at it like whenever a creature is sacrificed or whenever an artifact is sacrificed, get the counter. And then like that has some combo potential, but you know. Now I see the rest of this is not very interesting. All right. Mythic Spoiler, what do you got for us? You got anything new? Oh, you got some new stuff for us. That's Mythic Spoiler for you. All right, we got some Sliver Queen casting cost commander card. Garth One-Eyed. A 5/5 creature for a white, blue, black, red, and green. It's got tap. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from amongst Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy. What in the... We're just making cards now. We just literally make cards. Hold on. So create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast the... Oh, you just cast it immediately. You still pay us costs, except for the Black Lotus part. So we got a Black Lotus maker. Okay, this is literally, I don't know, a boomer Magic player in a card. Because you get the choice between, like, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon alongside Black Lotus. Shivan Dragon. And you get like really powerful cards like Regrowth. These are all alpha cards, right? I think Terror is an alpha card. Can only make one Lotus though. Well, one Lotus at a time. Oh yeah, that's right. You can only choose one. Until you can choose everything. All right, get your proxies out, people. And Black Lotus I mean, actually, in theory, yes. In theory, yes. Free Black Lotus. Shivan Dragon is so boomer. I mean, that's super boomer. Wonder plus Glacial Revelation equals Flying Snow Stompy. Do you think we'll see any new or Modern Horizons 1 snow cards in Modern Horizons 2? I doubt it. But, like, we'll have to wait and see. Can you make multiples if you blink it? Yes. Because it'll look like a new card. So you blink it, get more Lotuses. Have all the Lotuses in the world. Get all the Lotuses, people. This is like such a funny way to cheat. Because like Black Lotus isn't even a legal card in Modern. But now we can play Black Lotus. Like it literally says Black Lotus. This is a really confusing card to someone who's never played Magic before. Because you may not even know what the hell any of these cards do. It's going to be a hell of an expensive... It will be. If you want to play with the real stuff. So for the people who hate... Oh, so I'm going to... still pay the costs. Does that... Hey, wait a minute. Is this foretelling a Black Lotus token? Are we getting a Black Lotus? Is this like a really weird way of getting around the reserved list? With a Black Lotus token? Because I can only assume, you know, because they give us tokens every single time we play a card, whenever they make cards like this. I can only imagine we're going to be getting a token on these cards. Create a copy of the charge. I mean, it doesn't literally say token on it. But it would make a lot of sense. And it would probably be damn close to looking like an actual Black Lotus, although it would obviously have some sort of token appeal to it. It's just a possibility. How do they make... I mean, maybe it's not... Maybe they don't show... maybe we just have to assume what the cards are. This is a very unique card. This is a really unique card. This is super, super unique. Yeah, so they're technically not legal, but it's going to be like a Black Lotus token. It's going to have like... It's going to have... Maybe it'll even look like a Black Lotus, but it's going to have that stupid... Well, it probably is not... They're going to make... maybe it's gonna have the different art, for example, like I don't know, the Magic the Gathering online art, and then of course it's gonna have like an advertisement on the back. So I mean, it's definitely not like the OG Black Lotus. Anyway, I'm just thinking, because that's usually what Wizards does in situations like this. I'm using a site called Mythic Spoiler. They're really up to date, really fast. Yeah, reading the card no longer explains the card. What's a Black Lotus? What's a Disenchant? What's a Brain Geyser? What's a Terror? Yeah, maybe there will be a price spike on Shivan Dragon. So this is just I'm just like, and if they give us a token, we don't know if they'll do that, but like if they give us, like, because there's a few Black Lotus arts, they would never give the OG art. It would be something like this. I think they would use this art. Like, it would look something like this, except be a token. In my opinion. I would love more Snow Hate, Drew. Just staple 3 tokens, treat 3 treasure tokens together. Okay, so let's see what new stuff we got here. Nothing new. We got through all the cards. Okay, so we can do some Q&A. If you guys got questions, remember 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. We could talk. I don't know what else we can talk about. Garth One Eye. This is one of the more unique cards I've ever seen Wizards print. Like, this is really out of the box thinking. Outside the box thinking right here, where you can like create copies of cards that aren't even legal in the format. That is so weird. Renamed as Garth Tradebinder. That actually sounds great. There should be like that's a great alter a Tradebinder onto the image. Tyrell says, create a copy of the card so we might be getting a non-token version of those cards to put into hand. Oh, that's such a good question, Tyrell. I don't know. Create a copy of the card. So you get a copy of the card. So what's the rules around? Like, yeah, I'm thinking, like, let's say you bounce the Shivan Dragon. Are you allowed to put the Shivan Dragon into your hand? Can it get shuffled into your library? Like, what happens to a copy of a card? Like, that's a physical card. Like, because it literally doesn't say token. Nope, the token is created, not put in hand. No, but the thing is, it gets... You cast the copy, but then let's say what happens when someone bounces it? Oh, copies act as tokens? Okay. Here come the commander players. A humble appearance bellies a master's skill. Yeah, it doesn't say token, but apparently the commander... You know, that's just magic for you. They don't explain all the rules. You just gotta learn from somebody else. So copies are considered tokens. Oh, copy is a token type. Interesting. Thanks very much, Kat. How do you create? Where's the copy? How do you create Brain Geyser? Shen asks, well, how do you create a Brain Geyser? You're just gonna create a Brain Geyser. Create it. What's it? Oh yeah, hold on. That is a good question. How do you create a brain? Okay, no. I guess you have to cast. I guess you get to cast it, and they're going to give you the. Oh no, but it says you still have to You still have to pay the casting cost. You may cast the copy. You still pay its costs. So when you cast it, you got to pay the double blue and the X, and then you go about your business. Bring to light Inception. Get a Garth to get some cards. I mean, it's possible. Although I think this is like one of the weaker Bring to light targets. Shouldn't this set be called Commander Horizons? It probably should. Like, they very clearly were targeting the commander players with this set. They even had it's like mostly commander players and MTG Arena players spoiling the set. Not a lot of modern players. Lithoform engine? I don't know what this is about. Copy target activator triggered ability control. Oh, well, yes, I guess you could copy Garth's ability. Bud Smith, how come your brother is never on with you anymore? I like watching you two. It was fun. Because our province has gone to shit. COVID is taking over. We have a really huge outbreak right now. And so basically the world is getting our province is getting locked down. Nobody visit anybody. Only one person per family in the grocery store. That's basically what. So, but when things get better, he'll be back. I promise, he'll be back. So the question is, where do the copies exist before being cast? It's philosophical right there. Sponsor plug, thanks. Populate the Black Lotus token. Yeah, if you want more Black Lotuses. What do you think about Grixis control in the current meta? There's something there. I mean, there are these Luris builds. Actually, okay, so it seems like one of the missing pieces of Grixis control appears to be Sprite Dragon. Like, this is one of their main win conditions, the Sprite Dragon. Which actually makes a lot of sense to me because, like, as you cast spells, this thing can just get progressively bigger, and you know it's a pretty damn good clock that you can put on your opponent. So I think more people need to experiment with Sprite Dragon in their Grixis control builds, and then maybe we can evolve the archetype. But it's in a relatively good spot right now in that it's got a lot of that cheap removal to answer a lot of decks that are trying to be really fast. The Shadow decks, the Shadow Prowess answers a lot of stuff from burn, so although they take a lot of damage themselves. But I think there's a little something for them. Void Mirror, Eldrazi Killer? I actually don't think so. I think they've got a lot of answers. Between their Cavern of Souls, Expedition Map to find Cavern of Souls, Blast Zone, yeah, I think they got stuff. Not that I mean, it's going to be good. Like, it's a sideboard card. I mean, Eldrazi Tron had answers to everything anyway. But, so you can still play it. But I don't think it'll be the death of the archetype. Can you cast the copy at instant speed? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to say yes. Does anyone know the rules well enough to answer this question? So can we, at end of turn, use Garth? Or can we create a copy, but we can only cast it when we could normally cast the spell? Like, this is like an interaction I don't get into in Modern or in competitive Magic. The ability puts the copy on the stack and says we can immediately cast it. You may cast the copy. Okay, so what you're saying is we can always cast the copy unless it says we may cast the copy unless there's like a restriction attached. So Jorg says, yes, we can. You can cast immediately, says Paul. Zinnek, what do you think about Brainstone in Modern Miracles with Luris? Probably clunky. Probably very, very clunky, but probably playable. Like, we'll see what happens. Yeah, like a Luris counterbalance deck. It's possible. Because it's 3 mana to do this thing. If you have 3 mana, just spend 1 more mana, get Jace, and then Jace will take over. But, you know, hey, maybe Brainstone and Jace are what's needed. Ben asks, do you think the Rise and Shine will be under a few dollars? Because if not, an Ensoul Artifact deck with it will be extremely cheap for the power level. Well, Ensoul Artifact is terrible in Modern because you have to target a creature, and in response, you just destroy the creature and you 2-for-1 yourself. Or you just play Ensoul Artifact and you still kill it afterwards, and it's still a 2-for-1. So that's the same thing with Rise and Shine. I think it will be. I can't promise it's going to be cheap. Like, you never know what other formats want this card. So, like, it doesn't look that impressive for Modern, but maybe it's an all-star commander card where everyone needs this card. You know what I mean? So it's hard to tell based on one format if it's going to be cheap or not. Thoughts on Grief and Stoneblade with things like Ephemerate? Yeah, it could be jammed in there. We're gonna see what happens with Grief. People are gonna play test it all over the place, and we'll see what happens. Fetch lands and Is It Blitz to help find mountains easier to flashback Lava Dart or a Boil choke-proof dual land in its place. I mean, you should be playing. I think you should be playing fetch lands anyway, but I don't think you necessarily need to find a mountain. You can just find like steam vents or something. Are decks not playing fetch lands? Maybe not. Like, they don't play a lot of lands. Well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Yeah, they have Scalding Tarn. They have Mountain, Scalding Tarn, Spire Bluff Canal, 2 Steam Vents, Woodfit Hills. There's your mana base. I don't think you don't need to be afraid of Boil and Choke very much with Is It Blitz because everything's mana efficient anyway. Dude, you have 500 people watching. That's right. I'm a big deal. I'm a big streamer. That's why I don't go on Twitch. Screw Twitch. Oh, my numbers are pretty good on Twitch too. I get like 150-ish people these days. Sometimes 100, somewhere between 150 to 200. We're big. We're famous now. It's a famous channel. It doesn't say Oh, whoops. We already answered that one. Grief and Ephemerate and Orzhov Vampires. Maybe. We'll see where this combo is the most powerful. Okay, hold on. I'm going to check if there's any more spoiled cards. If not, we'll get into deck list review. No, there's nothing new. All right, so you know what time it is, everyone? Maybe I've already spoiled it for you. It's deck list review time. So if you want your deck list reviewed on this channel by both myself and the community, you can absolutely do that. Go into my description. In my description, there is a link to my Discord. Join my Discord. And then in my Discord, there is a channel called Deck List Review. And when you are there, submit it with the command !review deck, like right down here, give a space, post the URL to your deck list, press enter, and you'll be eligible at random for deck list review. I know it'll say like, oh, your position is number whatever. It's useless. It's pointless. It's all random, people. This is but you got to submit it every day, and if you submit it every day, it increases your chances of getting chosen. Yeah, it's sponsor plug time. That's right. That's what we do. That's what pays for all this shit. Fusion Gaming Online pays for all this shit. We're going to thank Fusion Gaming Online. Deal of the week, save up to 20% off. Hey, I'm not done here. Save 20% off all select sealed product. This is going to mostly apply or exclusively apply to everyone in Canada because this is a Canadian local game store. You can get like Time Spiral Remastered boxes, Modern Horizons. You can get Masters 25, Avacyn Restored, Kaldheim, a bunch of other stuff, Ixalan, and other trading card games I don't know about. But 20% off, huge deal. Like, that's massive. It's a huge, huge deal. Guess what? We can make that deal sweeter. How do we make that deal sweeter, people? We give them an extra 5% off if you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Lets them know I sent you, and yeah, you get like it's like 25% off. Actually, no, it's like 20% off first and an additional 5% off later. I don't know how that calculates. Canadian money is like Monopoly money to me. Me too. Me too. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, premier place to rent Magic cards online. I mean, you're gonna want to use this when all the new sets come out. I mean, if you love Grief and Ephemerate, but you don't know what is the best shell for the damn thing, you're gonna want to rent cards from mana traders to see what is the best build for you. Don't buy into one version of the deck, and it's not the best Grief Ephemerate deck. You're gonna want to try out all the builds. You can support the channel using my mana traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu. All the coupon codes are Nikachu. Hey, Salo. My cat was just here. I saw him on the ground. Salo! He ran away. I don't know. I thought he wanted to be part of the show. I was wrong. It's a sneaky little guy. He's a funny guy. You like turn your head away. Like you see him, you turn your head away, and then he's gone. It's like Batman in that way. All right, let's get into Decklist review. Berg! Congratulations, Berg. You're the next contestant on Decklist review. We've got Grixis Griefermentals version 1.0. So there is one thing about Grief, and it is an elemental. So it can go in an elemental deck. There's a lot of black cards in elementals, as we see. We got Fulminator Mage, we got Shriek Maw, we have Lightning Skelemental. So there are some black cards here that you can exile. And I'm guessing the Unmask is just the Grief, because there is no Unmask in Modern. I figured it out for you. Have you heard the Hotline Bling mashup with this track? I have not. Never heard of it. Okay, let's start off with... Okay, so the deck technically has 21 creatures, because Unmask would be a creature. But I'm getting a sense there's just not enough creatures in this deck. This is so light on creatures. 17 creatures? Do we even have... And it's a 3-mana deck. 21 lands? I guess 21 lands is enough. Or I don't let's see. I would prefer there was more creatures in this deck. You should probably play with the Harbinger one. Like, the Harbinger is not so bad. You can Harbinger certain like creatures on top of your deck, and it's only a single red mana. I might prefer it more than the Undying Evil. Target creature gains Undying until end of turn. I get what you're trying to do. You want like extra ephemerates. Or like you want to, it's like a way of let's see, hold on. My concern is you're just not doing anything. Like, Lightning Skelemental is not a repeatable source of damage. Everything's really expensive. Malakir Rebirth. Choose target creature, you lose 2 life until end of turn. That creature gains whenever this creature dies, return to the battlefield, tapped under its owner's control. No, but that's the point of Undying Evil. It'll come. It'll also you don't lose life. Isn't it just better? You lose 2 life until end of turn. That creature gains whenever this creature dies, return to the battlefield. But this will also return to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. It's okay. So first off, I think if we look at the mana base, I think everything is fine. Hold on, how many white sources do you have? You essentially need 14. So this is potentially... Okay, this is 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think you need 2 more white sources. You should take out 2 swamps, maybe for 2 more Godless Shrine. Because essentially, if you want to ephemerate... Oh, you don't have ephemerate. No, you do. You do have ephemerate. If you want to ephemerate on turn 1, you need 14 white sources in your deck. Oh, it's a... This is the... Oh, it's a land. Oh, that's cute. I don't know. Do I still want to use this card? probably. You know, I think it's worth it. I think, honestly, okay, do you know what? I'm sold, actually. Do you know what? I really like this card. I'll tell you why. This deck is actually really expensive. Like, you want Spite Bellows on the battlefield, costs 6 mana. You want to hard cast a Shriekmaw, costs 5 mana. I mean, I understand. Like, you're going to try to maximize the Evoke. And do you know what? I like this. Maybe we should go all in on this. This is just a complete Evoke Blink deck. We just evoke the crap out of it. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to evoke everything. We're going to evoke the Shriekmaws. We're going to evoke the Griefs. And that's what we're going to do. So I would actually... so what do we remove? Maybe... You know what? No, we're going to keep... Maybe we're going to take out some Lightning Bolts and keep all the Fatal Pushes. Take out Lightning Bolt, maybe some Undying Evil, and play Malakir Rebirth, because this does act as a land to curve out, and it does our thing. It's not unearthed, but it helps us curve out, because at 21 lands, we don't have a lot of lands in this deck. And everything is so damn expensive. No, we're going to keep Ephemerate, because that double blinks. Anyway, that's all I can suggest right now. We really have to wait and see how this deck... Like, how do I put it? We have to wait and see how well this blink mechanic works. Garth, one eye? Okay, apparently there's another spoiler. Huh? There's nothing new. Or what's the new card that hasn't been updated here yet? What's another card to help squirrels? Oh my, is it updated here? Do I have to go to Reddit for this card? Deep Forest Hermit? Ah. Isn't this the old card? This is just a reprint, right? This was printed last time. Vanishing 3. When Deep Forest Hermit enters the battlefield, create 4 +1/+1 green squirrel creature tokens. Squirrels you control get +1/+1. Yeah, we've gone over all the new cards. You'll have to see the replay. Anything else here? Oh, look at that alternate art. That's sweet. From Chatterfang. No Black Lotus token, but Aaron is wrong about the other thing. Not to rain on any parades, but that isn't happening. We have never made tokens that are copies of specific cards, like Pack Rat, and aren't starting here. Garth One Eye is still amazing, though. Okay. Well, this is really fresh news. Like, this was like 10 minutes ago. We were just asking about the Black Lotus token. And then, boom! Were we not the only ones discovering that maybe there could be a Black Lotus token? Anyway, okay, so that's not a new card yet. Now, getting back to the list. Where's the list? I think that's all I can suggest right now. Honestly, I have no idea how this deck plays out, so I don't want to make any drastic changes, but because the mana cost on everything is so high and you're not guaranteed to blink everything, I think that there should be some Malakir Rebirths in the deck, maybe like 2 of them. You could take out the two Lightning Bolts for them. And then hopefully things like Shriekmaw will act enough like removal spells instead of your Lightning Bolts. Beanie Man says, is it bad that I was only hyped for Garth because the possibility of a Black Lotus token? No, we were all excited for the Black Lotus token. What? Like, why not? Like, what's wrong with a Black Lotus what's wrong with a token of a card that exists? So was there no token of Pack Rat at all? There was no official token? I guess not. They don't want to be responsible if someone buys a Black Lotus token for 30 grand. Like, but how... It could even say token on it. Like, don't the tokens specifically say token? I swear they say token. Like, see, they very Oh no, they don't say token. They say knights. I could have swore they used to say token at the top. Yeah, that would look pretty bad if it just says Black Lotus at the top. That would look pretty bad. Okay, I'm wrong. Oh no, here, okay, it says token creature. It could say token Black Lotus. Black Lotus as a proxy for the real thing, its price is going to be hilarious. Is this a loophole for reprinting those reserve list cards? Well, apparently it's not, because they're not going to do it. They were going to do it. It looked like they were going to do it. But then they weren't good. Then they didn't do it. But yeah, it was pretty exciting that there was going to be a token version of the Black Lotus. And like they could have given it the crappiest Magic the Gathering online art possible. Like it didn't have to look anything. It didn't have to look anything like a Black Lotus. Like the OG Black Lotus. It could have been in newer, more garbage art. Not that this art is bad, but it's clearly not the OG Black Lotus. You know what I mean? It's not the OG Black Lotus. Yeah, 100% a loophole. I mean, you print the card. It could even have a. Well, I don't know if you want to give it a white border or whatever. What does a token normally look like? Like tokens look weird compared to normal cards. Like this is a weird. Like it could look like this. You know what I mean? Like they've got very distinct looks, and it could have been Black Lotus. So Reznov says, I call BS. They have tokens in Time Spiral Remastered, Cloud Sprite, Llanowar Elves. Oh! Well, I'm going to look for a Llanowar Elves token. I hear you, Salu. Or maybe I don't. I thought I heard him. Look at that! Look, Oh! You said... What happened? Oops. I'm missing the spot. He said, we have never made tokens that are copies of specific cards. What's happening here? What is this? How quickly refuted that statement is. That is not a token? Looks like a token to me. Okay, so maybe it's not a token. Is it just like an alternate art? I don't know. I don't know under the circumstances why these are tokens in the first place. So maybe it's just not. Maybe it's just not a token at all. Check the Time Spiral Remasters version. But what? No, if it Time Spiral Remastered Llanowar Elves. But is this really a token? It doesn't look like a token. Is this a token? Is this technically a token? Faces, tokens, and other parts. Time Spiral Remastered tokens. Okay, so that's sounds pretty pretty tokenish to me. First result. We gotta look at something new. Almost Black Lotus. Creates a copy of Black Lotus. You may cast a copy. That's hilarious. Almost Black Lotus. Okay, so this apparently is a token, Aaron. So you've done it before. You're making some exception here. I'm getting really mixed up with my tabs. So we do have tokens. Black Lotus tokens as a way to get around the reserve list is some galaxy brain shit. Kudos to whoever came up with that one. It would have been. Oh, is there like another one? Well, is there something new I don't know about? It says token in the title. Oh, it says token creature? I don't know what you guys want to tell, or what you're trying to tell me here. Oh, it is written token. Forsyth either forgot or panicked and misspoke. Nikachu, are you for real bashing the card art for that Black Lotus? I mean, of course it's not the OG Black Lotus, but it's still some badass art. No, I didn't. I said it's good art, but the point is that they can print another Black Lotus with some very distinct art that isn't close to the original. But in theory, they could print like a really bad art just to make sure that people would never get tricked like it's an original Black Lotus. I did not mean to construe the two. You can look at the replay. That is a token. The card Llanowar Mentor very specifically makes Llanowar Elf tokens. So is that like a little bit different? It's not an actual Llanowar Elf cards. It's just like literally a Llanowar Elf token. Maybe that's the difference. Okay, so that helps a lot. Llanowar Mentor. It's making tokens called Llanowar Elves, but it's not actually making cards called Llanowar Elves. So I think that's the difference. Yeah, it doesn't have a casting cost. I think that's the difference. Okay, so that we finished that. I guess that mystery is solved. Okay, let's do one more deck list for deck list review. And then I got a ninja edit out something out of my recent grief video. Shore Sweeper, congratulations. You are the next contestant on deck list review, and you've got a green-white cats deck. Apparently you've got a Pony Modern deck, as in your description. So we got a fun deck for Modern, never bested 50% win percentage in a paper tournament. All right, let's fix it then. You got Kahira Orphanage, Orphan Guard. You've got Loam Lion, which traditionally is not great. Oh, sorry, no, this one is good. It's Step Links. Step Links might not be very good because you probably don't have many fetch lands for this type of deck. So you got Loam Lion is fine. Wild Nikachu is great. Bronze Hide Lion is fine. Cassili Pride Mage is great. So Feline Sovereign you should have a lot more of. This is a very, very good card because it's your lord, right? It's your lord and it randomly has protection from dogs. Whenever one or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment, which I think is really strong. I would take out 2 Step Links and I would add in 2 Feline Sovereign. Kahira, oh yeah, you can have a Kahira in the main deck as well as a companion. Kasali Ambusher, reach. If a creature attacking you or a forest, you control a forest and plains, you may play this without paying its mana cost and is low to add flash. I think that's fine. If a creature is attacking you, so you could play like Forest, go. Your opponent plays Swift Spear, attack. This is fantastic. I actually really like this card. Well, Fleece Main Line requires too much mana. I mean, you could say the same thing about this. But I think it's a little bit better. We have a Johnny Collar of the Pride, which is like, it's okay, but it's not the greatest. Blossoming. See, this is where I think your deck breaks down. You don't want these many cards. Like, you just don't even want these cards at all. They're not very good. Protecting your creatures is just not what you're going to try to do with this deck. You just, if they play removal, they play removal. That's that. These should be, like, especially Mutagenic Growth is real garbage. It's useless. It should just be another creature. You don't have many creatures in your deck, so you should just have more creatures than they have removal. Add Sword of Hearth and Home. The sword is just a little bit too clunky. There we go. Yeah, Collected Company. Where's the Collected Company statement? Collected Company would be fantastic in this deck. Oh, you have almost no lands. This deck is so low on lands. I would play Collected Company, though. This is definitely a Collected Company sort of deck. And it wouldn't be that bad. Or maybe... I just realized you have 18 lands. It's so few. I would play 22. I'm assuming this is a little bit budget because you don't want to Whatever, it's a fun deck, right? You're just having some fun. I would go up to 22 lands. Remove the Rancors. Or maybe remove the Mutagenic Growth. Maybe you can keep Rancor. It's not the worst card in the world. And then... But I think even at 22 lands, we're not going to hit Collected Company mana enough. Or, I mean, okay, the last 4 cards could be Collected Company, or it can be another... I think there's another... There's one more Lord at 3 mana that you should play. That's what I think you should do. And then your things you can do on turn 1 are Loam Lion, Wild Nicodolin, Path to Exile. But these cards, they're so mana intensive, especially Blossoming Defense and Rancor, that you need more mana. So you can play a creature, get it online, and then you can get the value. So the simple solution, I would dump Mutagenic Growth, Blossoming Defense, add 4 lands, play another... What's the 3-drop Lord? There's 2 3-drop Lords. One's Feline Sovereign, and there's another one. Where's the Regal Caracal? Oh, this is too expensive. I love this card. Very powerful ability, but it's 5 mana. This is the problem. It's a Lord, and it comes to play with 2 cat tokens. Very strong, but it's 5 mana. The King of the Pride? Oh yeah, that's the Lord I'm thinking about. Okay, this should be the cat. So play some more of these, and then under some, like, I think Collected Company is still money, not free. Yeah, it's like $20, so I'm not going to suggest that. Your deck is clearly budget. Vaughn Mitchell says, my deck, King of the Pride, only has 1 toughness. So what? Look at the power it creates, though. Is there another cat? I would still play King of the Pride. 1 toughness, whatever. Creates all your other creatures to be enormous. Lurrus main deck. That's interesting. I mean, you need enough mana for it, but it's possible. I never thought about that. Lurrus in the main deck of a cat deck. But I would still, yeah. So I would keep Rancor as the only cheap card, and the reason I keep Rancor is it's technically some way that you could push damage, technically. But you definitely need more mana in this deck. You're choked on mana constantly. How do you play Bronze Hide Line? You probably never do. Like, the ability, it's basically a 2-mana 3/3 creature, because the ability on this thing's useless to you if you're constantly choked on mana. Ajani is like, okay, probably there could be a better thing, but I understand. But these cards are very, very poor. I would just not even bother with them. By the way, Vaughn, thank you very much for the super chat. Okay, I hope that's some useful feedback for your deck list, and good luck with the list. Hopefully you can break past 50%. Like, the thing that was missing from that cast list is you don't have enough power. You just don't have enough power to push through with that list, and you need more Lords. That will add the power, and you need to curve out. So you need both the lands and you need the Lords. And I'll keep the Rancor because it's a way of maybe pushing damage in situations where normally you can't. Okay, let's see if there's any more. Preview cards. We do not. Same preview cards, which means we gotta wait for tomorrow, where we'll all be back. So this is going to be it for Coffee and MTG for today. If you want to see the replay and hear about all the cards that we talked about earlier on in the show, check it out at Nikachu MTG streams when it gets processed and goes live. If I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday, 9:00 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. If you love Coffee and MTG and you'd love to support the channel, hey, you can do it at twitch.tv. You can also become a patron at patreon.com, or you can hit the join button on YouTube. So, but thank you very much for everyone joining me today. We had a lot of fun, very interesting Oh, is there something new? Wheel of Sun, 3 Wheel of Sun and Moon? Or is there like a big lag or something? Okay, I don't think there's anything else. Oh, it's not budget? If it's not budget... If the cat deck is not budget, throw Collected Company in there. Instead of what's it called? Rancor. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for showing up today. We'll be back tomorrow with more Modern Horizons spoilers. It's basically spoiler week all week. It's going to be exciting to check out all the new cards. So keep brewing up that coffee, and we'll keep brewing up Magic. See you guys next time.